here in Dulwich. Is that any better? Okay, I've been asked to speak to you on behalf of hundreds of shops and businesses here in Dulwich Village, but also on Melbourne Grove, Grove Vale, Lordship Lane, about the terrible impact that the council's road closures and restrictions are having on them. They've asked the Dulwich Alliance to speak on their behalf because, while a few of them have managed to get here and to take time off work to be here, most of them can't be here because they're working. But that's not the only reason. All of them, they've said to me, all of them are afraid to speak out because of being verbally abused and intimidated by a small minority of individuals who are in favour of the LTNs. That's just unacceptable, and we've seen in the last day or two what happens when a society stops being civil. So that's got to stop. Now, over 95% of traders in Dulwich Village, and a similar percentage in East Dulwich, of businesses in Melbourne Grove and Grove Vale and Lordship Lane, they all say that the LTNs are causing them huge problems and threatening the future viability of these roads as shopping centres. The large numbers of former customers who used to visit Dulwich from outside the area to shop or for leisure are no longer coming. That's the truth of the matter. Many of them are elderly, infirm and disabled who cannot walk or cycle and who cannot get here by bus. And customers are saying to the shopkeepers here that since the LTNs went in, the traffic's just too congested for them. They find it too difficult to park. They're confused about which roads they can drive along and when, and they are afraid of getting fines. So they're now shopping elsewhere. And those who have been fined say they won't be coming back. So for many traders, these destination shoppers used to account for around half their business. And that's business that's just evaporated. Sales of the shops along here and also in East Dulwich have fallen by up to 80% compared with 2019. That's simply not sustainable. Some shops have closed, several have made redundancies. There's one that's had to cancel apprenticeships up the road, and more jobs are going to go if business doesn't return soon. We've also got, we hear stories of after-school clubs for children, fitness classes for older people, dance classes for all ages. They've all been badly affected. Some businesses are saying that they're now going to move out of the area altogether. And passing trade, that famous passing trade, has gone right down. Fresh deliveries, particularly of food, are being held up, and essential services like medical supplies coming into the pharmacy are badly affected as well. I mean, this really just, this can't go on. Southwark have known about the problems the road closures have caused shops and businesses for over a year. Shops have written to them individually and through their traders associations, and again they've asked for meetings, and they've been ignored month after month, until finally in early September, right at the end of the so-called public consultation, the council agreed to hear their concerns. At the meetings, the councillors were left in no doubt that there's a very real risk that more businesses will close, more jobs will be lost, unless 24/7 closures are removed and restrictions lifted. And because councillors keep blaming everything on the pandemic, several shopkeepers provided clear evidence and data to show that the impact on sales was as a direct consequence of the road closures, not from COVID. So what did Catherine Rose, the councillor responsible for the LTN, say in her report? She said, "There's been various feedback from local businesses about the effect of loss of passing traffic and vehicular access to shops. However, this would potentially be offset by increased cycle traffic and pedestrian footfall." She says there's currently no quantitative data to support the reported feedback. I mean, clearly the report was either written before the meetings with shops and businesses took place, or this is deliberately misrepresenting the truth. And the idea that the huge fall-off in trade has the potential to be offset by a few local cyclists and walkers would be funny if it wasn't so serious. So we can't allow the council to get away with ignoring local businesses and destroying our high streets, because that's what's happening. So if you value your local shops as much as we do, we have to keep fighting to get the plans scrapped. The current LTNs aren't working. They are destroying jobs and they're destroying our local high streets. And they're damaging the local economy at the very moment when it needs all the help it can get to get back on its feet. And else. So the council needs to stop building its unwanted, unloved LTN through and start again. They've got to start again, but next time they've got to get it right. And they need to get their act together quickly. Thank you.